I wasn't going to say anything about this until I really sat back and thought about it. This whole situation with Crunchyroll and digital rights and ownership, it needs to be addressed and it needs to be revised because as much as I love physical copies of game, I don't really get into the digital stuff that much outside of the PC gaming world. But I also have to understand that, hey, look, these people that bought digital copies and they live and die by digital copies need some type of clarity and or relief of some of this stuff. Now I know some people say, well, you sign the terms of service and you get what you pay for it. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. We have to understand that we are living in times where these companies are literally giving you some type of terms of service that you don't read the fine print and they just want you to click and agree to what they're saying at the same time give you the impression that you're owning this form of media and they're taking it away from you. You have to understand that this goes on in like this the animes, the movies, the gaming, especially in gaming. This is about to be a really big deal, especially with what Xbox is possibly going to do. We have to have this whole situation revised. We have to have it looked over again because these companies are really getting away with robbery. They really are. And a lot of people don't want to say nothing until it happens to them. Everybody sat back and say, oh, this game delisted here. This DLC is taken away there. Or this, this movie's gone and this, that, and the third. This digital copy is not accessed. This delisted here. This is, taken away from on that. Now it's starting to get to a point where more people are starting to be affected with this whole situation with Crunchyroll. And now people are starting to look and see like, okay, wait a minute. If this happened with Crunchyroll, what could happen with, Xbox? What could happen with, Sony? And we already see what happened with Nintendo. I mean, look at the virtual console. Look at what's going to happen with the Xbox 360 store. And I'm telling you, I'll say it again. I say it all the time. The PS3 store is next. The Wii U store is already gone. You can't do anything online after April. And now, April 2nd, Crunchyroll is about to do their thing when you cannot, you don't have your digital copies anymore, basically. They won't move the digital copies over from Funimation. Funimation won't move into Crunchyroll, and that all that stuff that you purchased is going to be, gone. They just took your money and ran. And I said this, PlayStation Store, the PS3 one is next. So you better get on it if you want to buy anything off of there. But that's a whole nother story. I don't want to go down there. Crunchyroll is having a situation where none of their stuff is going to be available. The stuff that's moving over is not going to be available. They're going to tell you right here. It says it in their terms of service when it was announced. It says they asked like, will your digital copies be able? Could you still be able to use them? They basically said, we understand that you may have concerns about your digital copies from Funimation. Please note that Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which mean that access to previously available digital copies will not be supported. See, with that right there, if you purchased anything from that, you should have some type of, I ain't gonna even say lawsuit, but just based on the fact that you purchased this stuff, you can say like this is a form of robbery. But once again, this determines the service. I bet it's somewhere in the terms of service is saying like, you know what? Yeah, you can download this forever, but on this other piece of paper on this terms of service, we're going to take this away from you when we get ready. I mean, that's just how it is. So if you have anything that's digital, I beg you, do one or two things. And the first one is very important. You should do it. Take your stuff that you purchased, find a way to download it on a hard drive, and keep it offline. That's the best way to make sure your digital stuff is yours. Second, somebody needs to get a hold of this whole situation with terms of service, and it needs to be looked at and revised, not for just Crunchyroll, but all of these companies. All of these companies that do this type of stuff, it needs to be revised. So whoever, at the very least, if you purchase this stuff, you should be able to keep your stuff. They should, say, thanks for your service. We're going to send you a file with all the stuff that you purchased. Here you go, it's yours. Or they shouldn't take it away from the people who purchased it, and you get to keep it. Because this stuff right here is ridiculous. If you purchase this stuff, you should keep it. I don't understand it. Yeah, I understand people like the convenience. And I jumped into the game around, when the PS1 classics came out on the PS3. I thought it was amazing. It was so convenient because one, PlayStation 1 games was not this readily available. So I was cool with, buying some PS1 classics on PS3. And, two, some of this stuff is very expensive. Like, some of the PS3 games and some games that are digital now on other platforms, well, let's say just the virtual console, they were very expensive. And that was like the only place where you could get them. Nowadays, they're gone. This is why a lot of games that are, let's just say, for instance, a Game Boy Advance games that were digital, I purchased those. And the Castlevania, this was bought before the Castlevania Advance collection. I bought that on the Wii U because I definitely wanted that. You can't, let's talk about the Wii U for a second. You can't even get the Contra Rebirth or any other Rebirth that Konami made. Can't even get those no more. So this is a problem that extends not just from Funimation, did I say that right? Funimation or Crunchyroll or Sony or Xbox or Nintendo, it's all over the place. And it needs to be revised because now we're at a point where more people are starting to get affected. And I don't want this to wait to somebody else say, hey, now my stuff is going, what do I do? No, you need to start talking about this now. So we need to start spreading the word now so people can start saying like, hey, this isn't right. Crunchyroll needs to backtrack and give people their stuff back, or the terms of services need to be changed for everybody. And I'll be honest with you, it might be a situation where Congress have to get involved, to be honest. At the end of the day, I will say this. I'm happy that I got the stuff that I got digital. Most of the stuff I have digital won't be taken away from me unless if like, what was like the CMOS battery thing on Sony. As far as Xbox 360, my digital stuff on the 360 still works. That console's offline. The games still work. I'm good there. Nintendo, same thing. The Wii and the Wii U, good to go. All my stuff still works there. I am kind of nervous about the PS4 and the PS5 stuff. I don't know how that's going to work yet. Maybe, it will be okay in some time. And the Xbox, I don't know what Xbox is going to do with all their stuff. I just don't know. I mean, their stuff is just like really weird, so I don't know. Game Pass, purchasing stuff. I know the 360, that's still maybe the same, format for the Xbox One and Xbox Series. Maybe it'll be the same format, but I know my Xbox 360 stuff, it still works. One thing before I get out of here, I noticed, even with the disc, and I know it's not really relevant because I have it on other platforms, Dead or Alive 5 on 360 does not work without an internet connection. And I need to talk about that as well. That's going to be another video that I do. Shout out to the people who are doing God's work when it comes to what games work on and offline. I'll be talking about them sometime this weekend, so you guys can check that out. But I'm going to get out of here. That just reminded me about Dead or Alive 5 on 360. It doesn't work without an internet connection. I wonder if the PS3 version is the same, but I have that game on PC, so I'm not worried about it. But like I said, I'm going to make a video about that whole situation of what works and what don't work, because that is an excellent video I need to talk about. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good one. All right, I'm out. Peace.